We're at Kings Lynn for round 7 of the National Points Championship Shootout stage, the race for the silver roof. We've got the Grand National Championship, which is up first for the Formula Ones, but before we get to do that, it's time for the all-important shootout draw. So we've got Charlie Featherstone here, who's going to do our shootout grid draw. Right, Charlie, do you want to pull the first one out for me? That's it. Oh, is it really good? So pop it in front of Sophie, thank you. Next one. 20. You're doing fab, Charlie. Awesome. 45. Hang on. Pull on. Are you alright, Charlie? Oh, hang on. Let me. I did. No, not really well. No, not really well. That's it. You got it. Yeah. That's it. Good. Josh. I don't think they're very happy with this grid so far, Charlie. There's a lot of commentary about it. Yeah. Matt. Let's Matt at the back. Thank you. And last one, Tom. It's not here anyway, is he? He's not even here. He's last. He's not here. Was that all right, Charlie? Perfect. There you go. Charlie's in the draw. Thank you. So tonight at Kings Lynn we've got 2 driver spotlights, 191 Josh Smith and 16 Matt Newson. Up first we're going to talk to Josh. Josh. Hi. It's like you've been looking forward to this meeting forever because you knew this was coming.
Yeah, I thought about cancelling this morning.
We just add you to the list and just keep cancelling and but we're talking about a shootout. So it's how many times have you been in the shootout?
This is second time.
Second time. And it was like kind of you nearly didn't sort of make the cut this time. I think you were 13th, weren't you?
I was first reserve and then got brought in a few weeks later, but yeah, it's been different.
Yeah, have you enjoyed it? Is the main thing. Have you enjoyed it?
Yes and no. Okay. Bradford, no, but other meetings I've come back and I've loved it.
Yeah.
But I got so much damage at Bradford, I was ready to just give up, but we're still here. We're still going.
Bradford for a lot of people was, I mean, just very tricky conditions, and there's a lot of damage at Bradford, wasn't there?
Yeah, we've been working on the car quite a lot this week. It's had a lot of steelwork replaced, but we had an engine problem in the Grand National, and we only got that fixed this morning. So hopefully that's all good for tonight, and we can score some points.
Because in the shootout, I mean, we talk about it's 10 rounds, and it's only 10 rounds, but actually it's like week in, week out, and it's quite an incessant series, isn't it? There's no stopping. You just got to do it, haven't you, week after week?
Yeah, it's non-stop. You just got to keep rebuilding and keep trying to score points. But it seems this year, as soon as they drop the green, they all want to win it on the first corner.
Yeah.
We just seem to keep getting caught up in it, but. We're still here and we're still going. Yeah. We're still trying. Yeah.
Well, you're 10th in the points, and when you look at the people above you, there's not like a huge gap. To make kind of places up, it's like consistency piece, I suppose, that, like you're saying, and also the fact there's 12 of you all trying to score points, and you can only score points down to 12. You know what I mean? And there's not just 12 of you in the race; there's 30 of you. So it's hard.
It's hard work. There's no saying it's not. It's hard racing every race. You don't get a chance to breathe. It's just go from the start. But yeah, it's not been too bad. It's been better than the last time I was in it. That's for sure. But yeah, we're getting there.
And like when I've talked to some drivers who've kind of not been in it very often, and they kind of say it's a really good learning for them because they are racing with the likes of Tom, Frank, like week in, week out. John's going to knock over. Just a bit close now. But you are starting with them week in, week out, aren't you? So it must be a learning in some respects.
Yeah, the last couple of shell meetings, we've really had the pace. It's just we haven't had the look to go with it. And once we get the look, I think we'll be away. But I just can't find it.
So we're at Kings Lynn tonight, and people talk about Kings Lynn being a great track. Do you get on with Kings Lynn? Is it? I mean, you rolled over in the shootout round one.
Well, I've always liked Kings Lynn. But I don't know what they've changed for this year, but the shale seems different.
Right, okay.
The track hasn't got the grip that it had last year at all.
Right, okay.
But it's another track, it's fast, it's hard, but Kings Lynn's always been quite good.
Yeah.
And you know what you're getting when you get here. It's not going to be bumpy, it's going to be a good track.
Yeah. But you're saying it's not got as much grip as it had last year, so do you have to change your driving style to alleviate that issue?
Yeah, I've completely altered the car from last year to this year just to get it to go around here.
Right, okay.
Completely different crossway, quite a big difference as well to last year. It's a lot of different things. The car hasn't changed, it's just, it must be the surface.
Yes, absolutely. But I suppose people don't realise that shell tracks do change throughout the night, but I suppose to the degree you're talking about from a completely different surface almost from last year. You wouldn't think
obviously you think how much shell each stock car takes home each meeting. They've got to replace it at some point, and it's never going to be the same as what they had down before. So So we're fingers crossed for tonight, and we are going to come and talk to you, much to your delight, after every race. So we're going for Grand National Championship up first, which is tough. That's really tough. I'm all right. I'm the last car on the grid.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm sure they felt sorry for me and patted me on the back.
So we've got National Championship first, and then that classes as Heat 1, doesn't it? But that's going to be like a tough race with Tom and Frank starting in the front for you to
it's going to be a long race. I think it'll be a bit like the Trust Fund. It'll just be hard work from the start. But try and get at some points whichever way. But that's all we're here for.
Yes, absolutely. Well, at least you're smiling, and I think you're definitely enjoying it. Yes, we'll see after the first race. Josh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So our second spotlight driver is number 16, Matt Newson. Matt, we're coming into Kings Lynn round 7 on the back of a very, very good Bradford meeting for you.
Yeah, it was a good Bradford meeting, but it could have been a lot better though, to be fair. I won the heat, got second in the final, felt really good, and then the National got a bit tasty. Everyone started putting it about, but I got the lead. I had to win in the bag really. 2 laps to go, it blew a diff, and it is what it is. So another 16 points down the pan. Yeah. But we're trying, aren't we? We're still there.
That, you're second highest point scorer on the night, and we're kind of sitting 4th in the table, and you're not a million miles away at all from that top spot.
No, we're keeping there, but the trouble is now, if I don't start gaining some, it's going to be good.
Yes.
It's been a bit of the story of my shootout. I've been a good scorer, but never the highest. And a couple of meetings, I would have been the highest. I mean, Mildenhall's a classic. Highest scorer, come the National. I'm winning the National. Car breaks down. Tom outscores me. Again, Bradford would have been the highest scorer by a mile. I lose the National. Frank outscores me. It's been a bit of my,
Because we're at that point now, aren't we, where Tom got a bit of a lead, a bit of a gap. But the trouble is, if you guys are all scoring the similar amount of points, you're never going to.
That's the trouble. Now it is a case of somebody needs to score and the top one's not score. But that's so easier said than done, because they're also so good and they're clever enough to go, well, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But mechanical failures is always the answer, and that's been my downfall, just like a lot of people's. It is,
Yeah, of course. When you say about Bradford, I mean, like, clearly, Frank was, I want to win this final, and the Tom and Frank thing took place. That kind of plays into your hands a little bit, because if those two, well, like I say, they're not daft enough to almost continue that. You can't continue that, because otherwise they're not going to win.
I actually think that is the biggest trouble. It's a bit like somebody needs to take Tom on. No messing around here. Tom's winning. Somebody needs to take him on. But the trouble is, why would someone want to take him on for somebody else to end up winning? Because that's what happens. And I'm that person. Frank and Tom go at it. I'll end up winning. But same thing, well, me and Frank go at it, well, Tom will win it. It is hard. It's like you've got to take them all on together rather than just taking one man on, and I think that's the biggest problem. It's got a bit of a four-way now. After us 4, it's quite a gap then. It's only really going to come from us, and I think that people know that now, and when you're racing, that's on your mind rather than necessarily winning. Will I beat them? That's,
Because like I say, the 4 of you, this is you, Lee, Tom and Frank. that's kind of the top four, isn't it? And Lee's kind of a bit under the radar again, isn't it? The minute he's not getting involved in anything, he's just kind of.
And he'll be hoping the same thing, won't he? You know, Lee's a sensible guy. He'll be thinking, right, Matt, Tom, and Frank go at it.
Yeah.
They won't worry about me. Next thing you know, and that I don't know what year it was, but I remember that Craig Finnegan winning the exact same thing. Yeah. Everyone was looking at Dan Johnson and Frank. Lo and behold. Craig,
I remember Craig was like right down the bottom, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, really, and then all of a sudden he was just there. And it's like, well, where did Craig Finnegan come from?
That is it, like I say, and that's what I was on about earlier. Battling, taking somebody on, it'll just give it to somebody else, you know.
So with that in mind then, and we always say you can't predict a stock car race, you absolutely cannot. So you're going into tonight, so have you got like a game plan, or is it just kind of as the meeting unfolds?
All I do is go out, try and win every race. My theory is if you win every race, something will happen to them and they don't finish, you'll outscore them big. That's really the only thing you can do every time. Yeah,
of course. And preference is shale. Well, we're gonna, you know, but you're saying that you had a really good Skegness meeting. Well, you did until the national.
There you go. There you go. You hit the nail on the head. Exactly the same thing again. I mean, for me at Skeg, I outscored them both in the heat. Then I outscored them both again in the final. I was like, this is unheard of. But then again, lo and behold, in the national, crashed big time. I look at the points. I got 30. Tom got 40, and it's like, but that would have been my day again. But you know, it is what it is, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then we're not going to talk about the fact, you know, it's a silver roof, but it is the silver roof, and it's like its second, or you know, one of the main titles in the sport, isn't it? And clearly you're very hungry for it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest trouble. I talk all the time with a lot of other drivers. My biggest trouble is I want it too bad. I really should just let it happen, but I'm so desperate to win it that then it starts playing on my mind during the race. And you know, that national must have been a classic last week. I was thinking about it all the time. Just keep going. You've got it. You know. I tell everyone the same. I am sure if I just get a title, they will come in. I'll stop worrying then, and it'll just be like, oh, it don't matter. Then all of a sudden it happens. I'm just like, you know, I'm just so desperate for it.
Yeah,
you know.
It's interesting though, because I was talking to Phoebe like at Mildenhall, and she was going, I just go out on a race to enjoy it. However, the shootout brings about it. I need to get some points, and she said, all of a sudden I'm driving differently. And I'm driving rubbish, and it's like it's really hard to change that mindset, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, it's
and people adapt to that better than others. I don't know why it gets to me. It never gets me at normal meeting. But like I say, I've done some world finals and drove so badly, and I think, you know, but it is that. It's because I sit on the grid and think, oh, you know, I want to win this, you know, and next thing you know, it just doesn't happen, and you know, I don't know how to get over it, but I'm sure if I could just get that lucky one, let's call it that, get that lucky win, and then all of a sudden it would, you know, it'd just be okay.
And we've got, so round 7, then we've got another Sheffield next week, Tarmac Hednesford, and then it's shootout final. And, you know, and if it stays as it is, it's going to be like 4 of you going to Bradford.
To be honest with you, I think you'll find by then 1 or 2 will have dropped out. You know, at this point in the stage, a bad meeting from someone would be end of story. And for me, if it's going to happen, I would say it's probably going to happen at Hednesford. So at the end of the day, if I can just be there, a good, like I say, on the final day, the fans want to see that as well. It needs to come down to a final, you know.
Absolutely. And you know, like, just last question before I leave you to it, you know, you're talking about sort of car maintenance, and that's the biggest Achilles heel in terms of, have you done much different this week, or is it because you are busy, you are super busy?
Do you know what? It's got to be luck. I don't prep my cars no different, but I do really try and give them the once over for a shootout round. Everything that's gone wrong on mine is stuff you would not check. I mean, at Mildenhall, the coil broke. Well, you do not touch a coil. It's on the car. It's on the car. And I'll say last week, you don't check a diff. It was no warning. There was nothing. My troubles have actually just been mechanical failures as such. And you know, someone's going to get an engine blow off at some point, and it's not going to be their fault. They can't check it. It just happens. And I say every year, if you could just finish every race, you would win by a mile. But you just can't.
No, absolutely not. And the thing is as well, like, you've got 12 of you, and everybody would talk to you about the shootout. It's like you've got that race within a race, and you're all, you know, it's your 12 in a race, but then you've still got another 20 other people on the track. Right. Do you know what I mean?
That don't bother me so much. I'm quite happy to come. Like, I've now finished 2 finals second behind Craig Finnegan, who's not in the shootout. But I take that as I won. I was first shootout home, so to me that was a victory as such. I say you're only really racing them 12. You know, if you were to get a 5th but no one else scored, that was job done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, thank you very much, Matt. We're going to come talk to you after the first race of Grand National Championship.
Yeah. I've had that championship. Yeah. Someone said to me the other week when I won the World Masters, that's another one. I was like, no, I've had that before. But yeah, look, I've had the Grand. I don't know what year, 2000, maybe 10, 11. So yeah, it was.
It's a tough heat one though for the shootout, isn't it?
Yeah, but then is it better because we're at the front? Normally we'd be at the back. I don't know. It's tough because we're all together at the front. But yeah, it'll be what it'll be, won't it? I said Trust Fund was going to be a hard heat, and that actually turned out to be a cracking race.
Yes.
So.
It was a fantastic one for the fans.
It was, yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic stuff like this. Good luck for your first heat, and we'll come and talk to you after that.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Matt. So you've just got second place in first heat, which was the Grand National Championship. You were like, it was a good race, but you just couldn't catch Tom.
Yeah, well, he was really quick, to be fair, and I knew I was going well, and looking in the mirror, I was pulling away from everyone, but I just couldn't get near him. And I was a bit annoyed because I was ahead of, I don't know who it was now, but I was ahead of them at the restart. I'd passed him the lap before, and then on the head receivers, they were like, can you go in front of 16? I thought, well, that's wrong, do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But yeah, that gave him the break, and I'm not saying I'd have beat him, but I'd had an opportunity then at a first corner, do or die, or whatever you want to call it. But he was gone.
Yeah. Did you notice Tom coming out turn 2? He seemed to slow. Did you see it?
It was funny.
You were getting giddy.
I did. I thought, we'll have that. All of a sudden, he got going again, and I just said to him, I said, "What happened out there? You stopped." And he said, "I hit something," and it cut out. And I went, "We'll do that in the final, and that'll be fine." But yeah, I don't know why, but
yeah. So in terms of the saying about the pace, Tom's got the pace. Were you as quick as Tom? Do you think?
There was not a lot in it.
Yeah.
It seemed like he gained all of that time in 2 laps, and then it just stayed exactly there. And then I thought, I'm getting there, but not enough. And I kept looking in the mirror because we all know how fast Craig Finnegan is, and we were just getting further and further away from them. I thought, well, I'm obviously quick enough, but and on the car going around there, Tom said, that is the best my car has ever felt. And I thought, don't I know it?
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Don't I know it? Yeah.
I mean, we spoke earlier, and you talked about like the shootout as a race within a race, and you kind of, Frank didn't finish. Lee was kind of.
Well, it all happened so quick. Frank pulled off. Lee, we nearly lapped, and then Tom stopped in turn 2, and I was like, "This is perfect." But no, it's like we said earlier. Mechanical failure will be the victory of the.
I did think that. Like when I saw Tom slow, and it was in my mind what you said. I was like, "Is this it? Is this Tom's?"
The only difference is Tom stopped and it got going again. Mine stopped, and that's where it finished.
So the track itself. I was talking to Josh Smith. We like doing him tonight as well, and he said there's not as much grip this year.
Yeah, the track. To be honest, the track is brilliant. As in, like, it's perfect. Yeah. But there isn't a lot of go in it tonight. Okay. Meaning, like, you can get on the throttle and the car doesn't want to go forward. That's what I'd call it, forward bite. But the track's it's puckered. Do you know what I mean? It's so right. But like I say, there just isn't enough. What I'd say is sort of go in the track. Yeah, so when I'm watching the cars coming out of turn sort of 4, they seem to be like taking ages to come down the straight, and that is it. You say sometimes when there's a lot of loose dirt, you can actually feel it. That helps propel you forward. But at the minute, it's very slick, and you got the throttle on, and you're doing a lot of wheel spinning. But like I say, you're not going forward very quick. Do you have to like really think about how you're driving then? Because obviously, it's a race, and you want to get to the front fastest. But is it slower is faster? Yeah, there's a bit of a period when the race alters. It goes from wet at the start, so we're talking a few laps when it's a bit skiddy, bit of sensible driving in the traffic. Then it gets to the case where the track is kind of perfect. The loose has got it, and then it's like you can really pitch it in sideways. You can really get going. Then like 5 to go, that's gone away. Then it's time to straighten the car up, drive it like tarmac, and you'll notice. And I obviously see it a lot with my high drivers. You'll notice some of them are so good at the start. You think, well, you've won this by a mile, but there's what people don't realise is there's a lot in the car you can do with the brakes to make it good late on. And I think you'll find a lot of people don't know how to do that. So therefore, what you find is they're fine at the start, but there's a lot of us then in the car that can alter brakes, take and then basically next thing you know, late on, you'll notice they're sideways. The ones that are fast have straightened the car up, and then. But you mentioned this, Simon Trays, we did him at the first Kingsland, and he was talking about Shell's quite new to him, and he was saying he's having real difficulty in terms of that understanding how the track's coming along and making the adjustments in the car. And I still do it now. I do an adjustment in the car, and I did it too soon, or I did it, a classic at Northampton not long ago, I was quite away in front, and I watched Craig actually just catch me like I was sitting still, and then I altered the car, and then I caught him again, and again, that was me. I was too late to go. I thought, it's still okay, it's okay, and then he come past, I was like, I need to get going, did it, and then like I say, it's track reading is very, very hard to do. It's bizarre we're having this conversation, like you've got a 16-lap race and it's so quick, and then you're still talking about thinking about I need to change this, I need to do this, but how have you got time to do that? Going back, I hate to think how long ago now, going back to when I first started, I daren't even let go of the steering wheel. My dad used to say to me, "Oh, just do that." And I was like, "Dad, I can't even pull my goggles down." It's so, to drive one is everything I could do. But, you know, years and years pass, and then you get to the stage where driving it becomes just so natural that you have time to think about, oh, you know what, I wonder if I straightened it up a bit, and then you can do it. But there's people don't see that, but there's a lot in that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, probably someone like Stuart Smith was what I would say was the master at it. You know, I would watch that man for half a distance and think, oh, I've got him all day long, and then all of a sudden it just, you know.
That's absolutely fascinating. Thank you for that insight.
No
Like I say, people don't think it's just like a car going round in a circle.
Yeah,
but
that's how it looks, doesn't it? And it kind of is. Don't get me wrong, it's not always like that. Last week at Bradford, the track never got to that. It was the same start, middle, end. I never touched a brake or nothing all race. But
just touched the fence a few times.
Well, a lot of times.
Matt, thanks so much, and we'll come talk to you after the final.
Thank you very much.
Josh, we spoke before the start of the first heat, which was Grand National Championship, and you were starting kind of pretty much last row, and it was a bit like, are you going to get in the final? And I guess going into, you weren't like super confident that would be the case, but actually you got 6. Or were you confident? I don't know.
No, I put that bit out.
It's good, I like your legs.
Sometimes it's easier to go off the back.
Yeah.
Because you can see what's going off in front. But yeah, car just felt really good. So.
It looked quick, it absolutely looked quick.
We had the grip which we've been struggling with, so it's gone in the right direction. Hopefully we can carry it on in the final.
It seemed, when like watching, obviously Tom and Matt were away at the front, but then everybody seemed to kind of struggle to catch like the cars in front. It seemed kind of quite spaced out, and then...
Yeah, I think once everybody had got their gaps, everyone was roughly the same pace, so you're never going to close up. You just got to settle for where you are and try and finish.
Yeah. So you know, when you're going from the back, and then did you kind of like hold back a little bit at the beginning and go, let's just sort themselves out, or was it,
no,
I need to go?
I come into the first corner and it was already starting to crash, so I just started pushing really and just got through as many as I could as early as possible. And then when the yellows come out and I was up into the top 12-ish, that's when I thought I've got a chance of a decent place, so we pushed a bit harder.
Before we talked about the shootout, and it is about picking up those points, which is great because you're now in the final. So you know, like coming back, is it like car's fine, do nothing with it, or is it?
Yeah, we had a couple of bits and bobs to do. I bent the shock mount and just put some bare tyres on and just try again really.
Good. And they've done loads of work to the track. They were like scooping loads of shale up.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what they were doing. I was sat in the pits thinking, why is no cars on track? But, the track was really nice in the first race. Yeah, really nice. But we'll see if it's still as nice now they've played with it. Yeah,
I was talking to Matt just before you, and he was talking about like reading the race and changing the car like from within the cab. Are you kind of doing that same sort of thing?
Yeah, I was trying to wind brakes about during that one to try and get it to go in the corner better, but I was just struggling to get it set right. So I've altered the brakes a bit now, so hopefully it'll be a bit better as the track dries out.
But I'm fascinated by that, because how have you got time? Because like a lap's what, 16 seconds? So when are you doing this? On the straight? When?
But any chance you can take a hand off the steering wheel, you're altering something.
Which is madness. It's in my mind, that's just madness. Because you need to hold on, surely.
It feels like you've got no time at all, but you manage to do bits whilst you're there. Cool.
Brilliant. Good. Thank you very much for talking to me. Like, I've eventually found you after.
Great.
Yeah, no, but like, Heat 1 was like hours ago, and I've been like hunting around everywhere. And so anyway,
I ran away.
I think you did. I did a good job. Good luck for the final. We'll come talk to you after the final.
Thank you.
Perfect. So Matt, we didn't come after the final because you were very busy. I mean, in the short turnaround between final and national,
Yeah.
a bit of an exciting.
Yeah, the final was a bit hectic. I got a really good start. Everything was going so well, and I went past Tom and then went past Frank and thought, I need this. Yeah. And literally, to be honest with you, in my cab I was cursing at Frank. I was like, bloody hell, Frank, no need for that. I now hear it was a bit more Tom than Frank, but at the time I didn't know. But I got a lot of damage, to be fair. Yeah, there was no wheel on the front, and
no. I mean, just going back to the incident, the three of you were racing hard. You come out of the bend, and it was difficult to see kind of what happened. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like Frank kind of.
From my point of view, I went past Frank. I went into the turns 1 and 2. I went a bit wide into the dirt, and I saw Frank sort of just up the inside, but I knew I'd get the drive out. And next thing I know, Frank was just shot straight across, took my wheel off. Obviously, he nearly rolled. I just put 2 and 2 together that Frank had lent me in the bend, but I think Tom was also up his inside, and it was I was just on the outside. It was game over. But when I came back to the pits, and it's like first thing is like, the wheel's missing and end of the axle's off, and I mean, what a team though to get out, and then it felt like it never even crashed.
Yeah,
you know,
because you've got another in the Grand National.
Yeah,
the Helter Skelter, isn't it?
Yeah. I've had no luck in the Grand National, so maybe that's what it is. Now it's a Helter Skelter. It's all right.
But I mean, like we were talking out there, so I don't know if Matt's going to make it out. It's going to be a bit tough. I mean, we popped over. We'll come back because there was just so much going on.
I was getting belted in, and I was then getting strapped in, and I heard Sophie say to Dave Riley, "You better go and see if Matt's coming." And I knew I was getting strapped in. Dave come over. He's like, "I can't believe you're actually going to make it." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "These boys know how to do it."
Yeah, absolutely. But all credit to you guys. And then to go out and, like I say, win that, and Frank was in second. So.
It doesn't. I know when you set out to do the job, you don't think about that, but that's the reward for the team. That is. Yeah, that's like saying to them, "They are boys. You deserve that for what you've all just done."
And it wasn't like you got, like I say, not a lot of damage. It was quick. The car was.
No, honestly, it didn't even feel like it. It didn't even feel like it had crashed. You know what I mean? Like, even from the first corner, I knew straight away. I was like, "This feels good," and then, like I say, it got going, and then. You started, I thought, we're 10th, then no, like 7th. You know what? We're here now. We're going to have this. So,
And then, and Tom didn't finish. And you know what I mean?
But we spoke about this before we started. It's the same thing again.
Yeah.
Brilliant second in the heat, but Tom went and got second in the final.
Yeah.
He then didn't score, but I won that. I weren't highest scorer again.
Yeah,
that's the trouble.
You're all kind of like almost the same as you
I know,
were.
and this is what we spoke about though. If that keeps happening, Tom will just run away with it. And I don't know how. I don't even know how you make it happen. But somewhere, somebody's got to get a 50-pointer, and someone's got to not score. But
absolutely.
it just. Like I say, they're all too good to let that happen.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, Sheffield's next weekend is a trickier track.
Yeah, but it's one of them. It is carnage, so you can. It could happen, but it's also a bit boring racing at Sheffield. You get a bit in a line, a bit of a thing, and it's very hard to catch. So you might find after 5 laps, if it is Frank, Tom, me, that's how it'll stay, because it's so hard to, but what'll be, will it?
Yeah, well done. Another good night. To be fair, another good night, and certainly some excitement again.
Yeah, and again, it's another round closer to the end, and we're all in contention. So it could be a cracker.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you. All right,
Josh. Before you run off and disappear, but well done for putting your shootout hoodie on to go home in. I like it. It's all good.
It's my only clean one.
Yeah, we thought we left the gap between final and national. It's such a quick turnaround. So final, I think 11th, decent, okay.
Yeah, it was just one of them races. Just keep going, get some points. Really, car was going well again, so not too bad.
National was more exciting.
National, the car was absolutely flying, and I was the only shootout driver to get through the pile-up.
Yeah.
Thought we was on for a good place, and then stock car racing.
They did, but you went in the turns 3 and 4 once, and quite hard, and then you picked up a bit of damage. They went, and you seem to kind of every bend you seem to then visit the fence.
Yeah, we got a lot of damage to fix for Sheffield, but at least we got the pace back that we wanted.
Yeah. But frustrating, I guess frustrating that you kind of, Bradford was quite a damaged night, and then you almost scot-free tonight, and you go into the last race, it's like, oh, really?
Yeah, but that's why we do it, isn't it? As much as it frustrates us, it's why we're here.
Yeah.
If we get damaged, we go home, we fix it, we come back next week.
Yeah. I know you talked about races within races earlier, and you and Liam were having quite a good battle between you, and because you're that kind of that end of the table, aren't you? But it was good to see.
Yeah, I've been racing with Liam a bit tonight and Danny Wayman, but It's been good racing, hard racing, fast racing, but we enjoyed it, so that's all that matters.
Good. Sheffield next week, and you like Sheffield?
I do like Sheffield. It's
You're one of
track.
the few. Yeah, you're one of the few.
Yeah, tracks of this era, it's my favourite.
Okay. And why is that?
I'm not scared of the fence.
Oh, people. Right. So how can you be scared of the fence and not be scared getting a stock car? How don't? Because
Some people don't like wire and post fence because of the damage it causes.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't bother me. A fence is a fence.
Yeah.
I just get on with it.
Is
I
it
quite enjoy
softer
Sheffield.
to hit the fence at Sheffield?
Yeah,
unless you
it'll
hit a
move.
post. Right. Okay.
It all moves, but it bounces you out in the traffic. That's when you got the problems.
Yes.
But everything I've raced, I've always enjoyed Sheffield. Just been one of the tracks that I hooked to. Yeah.
Is it one of the fastest we raced? It does look fast. Is it?
It probably looks faster than it feels,
Right,
because of the size of the place. It just doesn't feel necessarily rapid. Like round here, it probably feels faster.
Okay. Because it's more enclosed.
Yeah, it's just a big like D shape, so you're just on the power all the time at Sheffield. You just got to keep it momentum going, and keep it wound up.
I was talking to Matt, and he was sort of saying about Sheffield. You know, it's one of those tracks where you do get kind of you get a place, and that's all you pretty much stay there kind of throughout the race because it's difficult. It is difficult to pass.
It's hard to move people because everybody's going at the same pace all the way. Even the whites and yellows, they're all the same pace.
Right.
It's just about using the first few laps as a way to get through when the track's wet.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of sort of almost settles you in then, doesn't it? To like, actually, this is where I'm roughly going to finish potentially.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, if you're up into sort of the top 6 in the first 3 laps, you sort of know. If you don't bounce off a post, you should finish there.
Good. So fingers crossed for a good meeting at Sheffield. Thank you so much for talking to me tonight. I know it's like your favourite thing to do in the world.
Yeah,
We can go home.
it's great. Yes,
so,
home
thanks
time.
so much. All right,
No problem.
Josh. Thank you.